back in 2004, my friend Charlie Burman and I rode from London round to New York, east, and we called the trip the Long Way Round.
The Long Way Round has changed us all, I think. You know, we made our dream come true, and it's not very often in life that happens.
Fundamentally, it just boils down to hanging out on bikes is what, you know, Ewan and I love to do.
We did it! New York!
When we first met up in London after hadn't seen each other for a little while, we started talking about Africa.
I think you're going to do this again, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're going to do this again somewhere. You
Definitely.
won't stop now. Where are you going to go to next, you know?
I mean, 3.5 months was too long, and neither of us would like to be away for that length of time again. But North to South Africa would be a good trip.
It's something that Ewan and I feel very passionate about, and it's a country that is that sort of last mad place in the world. I did the Dakar Rally. There is something about riding a bike through Africa that is incredibly addictive. But I think what turned it for Ewan was when we were in Dakar and all those massive trucks and bikes
Enormous.
kept screaming into the big holding bay at the end, and I could see Ewan's eyes just lighting up, and he just turned to me and he just said, "Charlie, whatever happens, we're doing Long Way Down, that's it."
And I think we were only together for maybe 30 seconds or a minute before we looked at Charlie. He was fine. He had that big old smile. Russ seemed fine. And we're doing this thing.
There was this flash of light that we were back again, the four of us, doing another exciting project. And so at that point, the trigger was pulled and Long Way Down was happening.
We're going to ride 15,000 miles through 18 countries.
From John O'Groats through Europe and into Africa.
Across Libya to Egypt, following the Nile south into the Sudan.
Crossing the equator and over to the Skeleton Coast.
Arriving in Cape Town 85 days later. So here's to Africa.
Africa, Long Way Down.
Got the sun on my face, sleeping rough off the road. I'll tell you all about it when I get home. Coming round to meet you, the long way down.
So today we've come to the National Geographical Society, where Charlie and I came. It was the first thing we ever did for Long Way Round. And so today we thought we'd come back and we'll look at some of their maps. From the long way we could go through this bit. There's something incredible about the idea of going to tackle Africa from top to toe.
First thing people think is Africa's one country, and the second thing people think is that it's just full of AIDS. And then the idea was what I'm really looking forward to is sort of riding with Ewan again, which would be really nice, having him by my side.
First thing we wanted to do was find a youth base, and we ended up finding this extraordinary place in Olympia. It's great. Nice to see you, Charlie.
Ewan and I need to do a lot of work, but it's going to be our headquarters where we can prepare the bikes and trucks prior to our departure in May.
So close your eyes and count to 10. Dust yourself down, try again. Close your eyes and count to 10. Put your best foot down and start again.
We wanted to go back to the old team, so we had to find out if Claudio von Planter was free. He was one of the cameramen that shot for Long Way Round.
And our friend Jimmy Simak, who's busy filming in New York.
Hello! Hiya, how are you?
I'm alright, how you doing?
Are you married yet?
Not quite
Not
yet.
yet?
Got a while. How are you?
Are you married yet?
No.
Any plans?
When you ask me?
No.
Different continent, you know, same people, dime a dozen, you know.
So we should start with Tunisia.
We take this motorway down here, the A542 to the A15, onto this B72 to cut
Avoid the
P5 down to
Duga. Okay, cool. I filmed there in the first Star Wars films, and it was so hot. We were in this air-conditioned makeup buses. We'd sit in there and we'd get all made up, and then we'd walk out. The doors would open. We're ready. They'd be ready. And go. You'd walk out, and the makeup would just go all down your beige cloak.
Just like Bear's Canyon back home.
It was just great to be back with Charlie and to hang out with him again, because it just makes me laugh like a drain, you know.
What's going on? The warehouse is really coming together. We're getting it set up how we want.
you know, starting to fill up with their own bikes and cars and stuff.
Just that, really. Just bits of that.
Well, we think the trip's going to take us about 2.5 to 3 months, and one of our biggest problems will be the bureaucracy and the paperwork centred around all the border crossings that we have to do.
Yeah. I am, though, drowning in paperwork.
Asia's doing all the visas, thank God.
I need to basically do 90 visa applications to cover the 8 members of crew and all the countries they're going to. I'll feel better when we're halfway through and we've got some stamps in passports and everything.
11:15, fine-tune your senses, blindfold and barefoot walk.
Some of the areas they're going to are very much off the beaten track, which means they need to be able to learn to cope on their own.
Here we are at the Shadowhawk survival experience, where we'll be surviving, generally surviving around. Shadowing over here, hawking over there.
Peg it out.
Yeah, it's good. It's nice to put a tent up in the forest. I'm really excited. Like a boy, I'm excited. Woohoo! This is a tent I got in Australia when I did my very first ever motorcycle trip on my own. So this tent is the proverbial very old friend.
Ewan got his tent up before me. It's never happened before.
We're not competitive. That's what makes our partnership so successful in these round the world trips, is that there's not an ounce of competitiveness in our relationship, is there?
None.
I mean, the fact that I beat you putting my tent up just now doesn't even irk you a little bit, does it?
No?
When you're in a survival situation, you have to give over to the environment. If you fight it, if you fight the desert, if you fight the rain, it becomes harder. So the sooner you give over to it, the better. This is not a race. This is what I'm talking about, slowing it right down, yeah, and thinking where you are at the moment.
Well, I was using my hands to sort of sweep in front of me.
But there was moments where you were kind of aware of a tree being there before you touched it.
There was something quite surprising in the confidence that you got, you know, moving through and not being able to see.
You guys were, without doubt, out of probably in excess of 1,000 people that have done this stuff, you were the fastest ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
In the spirit of no competition.
We're going to go back up there to build the improvised shelters.
I really liked the shelter building. I really took my time with it, you know.
Colour coding confuses your enemy. It also makes for a better sleep.
I tried to make the walls as many sticks as I could along the sides, and I covered it, and I took quite a lot of care with it.
To support, yeah? Basically, the way Charlie's gone in, everything's got to be in, yeah? Okay. If his head is sticking out, I have a friend whose facial mask was taken off in one bite with a hyena. His head was just sticking outside of a tent.
Yeah, it's not budging an inch.
I mean, he was painting a pretty bleak picture about camping in Africa, wasn't he?
Do you feel confident in there, Ewan? That it's structurally sound?
Yes.
I'm going to walk on it.
Okay.
What I'd ask you to do is just to cover your face in case it collapses on you.
Where are you?
And then he just knocked it down, and that was really annoying.
Shame, I put quite a lot of love into that thing there.
Made me feel like a child. I was annoyed. I felt like someone had come along and broken my toy. Things got really negative, and I found that when we were sitting round the campfire, things just plummeted into this one horrific scenario after another.
This time of night is a really dangerous time of night, yeah? So you can never really sit around a fire safely.
Max presented them in such a way that it was very negative. By the end of it, I was terribly fearful of the whole thing. I've never been scared about this trip before.
I'm very excited about them doing another trip. It's great for Charlie.
And you can work out here, tinker with your bikes.
You know, he's doing his favourite thing, riding his bike and going on another adventure. It's fantastic.
It's good, Charlie. It's lovely.
What kind of animals do you think I'm going to see?
Giraffes and zebras. Lions, tigers, all the animals that you see in the zoo apart from snakes. Penguins.
My wife Ev said that she wants to come and join us for part of the trip, and wants to ride a bike, and surprised me totally with it.
But she hit me with it yesterday afternoon, and I was really excited about it yesterday, and then this morning I felt that maybe it was first of all, dangerous because she's never ridden a bike ever. It's difficult because I'm very split about it. I mean, I want to protect what we have, and in terms of the experience and keeping it real, and also the change in dynamic halfway through or towards the end of the journey would be weird. But at the same time, the idea to ride with her would be just fantastic. And so I don't know.
It was an epiphany. I woke up a Sunday morning wanting to go on the trip and being terribly envious of Ewan and Charlie's new adventures.
Between you and me, or between all of us, I am frightened about the possibilities of her being on a motorcycle in Africa.
The worst case scenario, of course, and it's worthwhile thinking about, is both Ev and Ewan are together on two bikes, and it does happen that things can go wrong, and you've got a mother and a father of a family both on the same crazy expedition.
Do you think it's a terrible idea?
Truthfully?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
I think it is.
But I just thought, oh, I can't not go.
My first thought was, well, why is she getting involved in this? This is, Ewan's and my trip.
I found it quite awkward to bring it up because everything would change, and I didn't know how Charlie would feel about it.
So I don't know what's going to happen with how that is going to change the dynamics of the project and what, if that's going to affect relationships. We haven't ridden together for ages, and we're just going to sort of have a refresher course.
My missus is here. She's going to ride a bike.
You've never been on a bike before?
I've never, not even a scooter or...
Have you ridden a scooter at all?
No, I've never
Nothing at all.
touched it.
Okay.
No. I haven't suddenly become like a biker. I haven't read biking magazines. The bike is a means to do something.
I just want to show you taking the bike on and off the stand.
Yes.
And starting the bike and switching the bike off.
Okay.
Do you think it would affect your relationship with Ewan?
I think if Ewan had said, listen, Ev's going to come for the whole trip, I think then I would sort of feel, like a spare prick.
The first thing I noticed though was Charlie, and it's incredible to see how his riding has moved on.
It's incredible. Ewan was so confident. We did some stuff that we would never ever have done when we came here the first time. Just no way. The improvement is huge.
There's going to be a lot of sand and dirt tracks in Africa. The bikes will be very heavy, so it'll require a certain amount of off-road technique.
Learning to ride was a scary process because I felt old in terms of learning new skills, and I didn't realize that you had to coordinate 4 limbs effectively, and I thought really I would never feel comfortable with it.
I'm sorry you fell just now. That's not fair.
That's all right. I saw you, and then I just got I have to so concentrate.
Ewan and Charlie have decided to use the same make of bike as they used on Long Way Round because it's so reliable, but we're waiting for the latest model to arrive from Germany.
We've hired fixers for each of the countries that we're going to travel through, and fixer is sort of a fun term to use, but really it just means somebody who's going to help us with the local bureaucracy.
So we've done...
Africa's big, and we only have 3 months to do it in, and if anything, that's my only concern is that, of overcommitment. Okay, well, that's pretty much done, yeah? You happy with that?
Happy, Ollie?
Yeah. Next!
I'm a bit worried that Ollie doesn't think we're taking it seriously enough. I'm a bit worried.
But I think it is quite a bit further than everyone's initially thought.
So anyway, we're working our way down here, and we're going to meet Ev somewhere before Malawi. We've got to spend the night on the lake, because I'll have my wife there then, get nice.
Forget that, we're not going there.
Yeah, definitely. No, definitely. It looks nice. A couple of nights there.
No.
You can be there. You can go out and sail with Russ and Dave.
Well, and then not see you for 3 days because you're just in your little thing, making whoopee.
Yeah. You want to try and get used to it, lift it, take the side stand away.
walk round the bike. You've got to do all this stuff.
Yeah,
Look,
I know.
the BMW could do all this.
One of the things which I'm a bit surprised about was I thought that Ev was going to be coming for about 10 days. It looks like now, you know, Ewan's talking about 2.5 weeks or so. It makes me a bit worried that it's such a long time. But, you know, maybe that's just me being silly. I don't know. Ewan, how do you think about going off on the first ride with your wife?
I'm excited. That's
It's
it.
not starting.
No, it's got a push start here down.
Oh, yeah.
So you want to make sure it's in neutral, always, the green light.
Yeah, that's why I moved it like
And
that.
It limits us a lot to what we can do. That we can't just go off down some path or down whatever, you know. So, I don't know.
I think the fact that we're going through places like Sudan, Ethiopia, near the Eritrean border, and even northern Kenya, these are all places where there have been issues. So the likelihood of going through without any problems is remote.
There are realities and there are concerns and safety issues that sort of behind the scenes we're constantly worried about.
The dangers are human dangers. I don't, you know, everyone thinks of snakes and things like that. That's not the problem. The problem is going to be human beings.
We're going to do a more African-orientated hostile environment training course.
Same place, same people, but very different.
I know. Oh, bloody out in the cut.
Guns. I love guns. You have a little condom on there, you know. I practice safe arms.
Whilst there may be thousands of weapons swirling about in the former Soviet Union, not many people have actually used them in anger there. Whereas in Africa, obviously, the use of weapons is something which is almost endemic.
Shattered windows, blast damage to their cars tell of the last few terrifying minutes before the 5 Britons were kidnapped and disappeared with their abductors into the desert. Nothing has been seen or heard of them for 5 days.
Good evening. There's deepening concern for the safety of 5 Britons missing in northern Ethiopia. The Britons are missing in one of the world's most inaccessible regions, noted for its lawlessness.
If somebody has taken the effort of putting together an armed convoy, there is a risk. It's simple. Nothing's worth getting killed for. Like in robberies.
I'd die for
like
my
in
friend Charlie.
You would? Fine.
Yes.
Charlie's worth getting killed for.
I'd take a bullet for you.
Part of the course was an exercise to see how we deal with a possible attack scenario. ID?
ID, yeah, sure.
Okay, we've got a situation up here.
Okay. Reverse. Just go back.
Go back a bit.
Back. I can't go back. Go back. Reverse. Go.
Come back. Watch out, they're there. Go, run! Okay, we're here. Just for it. We're working for UNICEF, UN, United Nations.
Money?
When he took me out of away from everyone else, I thought he was just going to cap me.
Shut up!
And then when we were sitting there, I was looking over, and I was thinking, for Christ, I said, they're all there, they're all busy with those guys. I think I should leg it at this time.
Where's Charlie? Where's Charlie gone?
Shut it!
Shut!
Did they just get Charlie?
Yep.
Shut up! I don't...
Okay.
Charlie, you stupid fucking bastard.
I thought I was going to run round and then
do what?
help. I don't know.
Charlie took the option of running, which was great, but unfortunately then hid behind that tree.
But the idea was that if I'd run, I would have...
You would have kept
I
going.
would have kept going.
Yeah.
That was the idea, and
Okay.
the chances...
Yeah, it was a good one. If you're going to go, you've just got to leg it. You gave me an excuse to
kill everybody.
So you just killed us all, Charlie. Thanks, mate. You know, that dilemma of Charlie's was a serious dilemma. You know, Charlie was off on his own and they left him there. So you're in a serious quandary as to what to do.
I think in hindsight, when you look and you break down the situation, I think that in hindsight, what you should do is stick together.
Certainly, we'll leave this training with a little bit more respect for what we're about to do.
We delivered one of the expedition vehicles. It needs a little bit of work. Most of it we'll do here.
Dave wants to put the tents on the top because I don't think he wants to camp down amongst the hyenas.
You know, one off the back and one off the side. One goes this way, one goes that way. I mean, the biggest controversy really in the camp at the moment is whether we go with bulletproof glass.
Yeah, I just think it's £8,000 a car. I just think it's a lot of money and for something which I don't think is. I don't think it's something that's going to happen.
This is the problem, they said, right? If you have bulletproof glass, if you roll a car, they can't break it to get people out.
If it does, it'll be going, Charlie.
We needed a security guy, which we found in Jim Foster, to advise us of any threat levels that we'd have in countries and whether we should have armed guards, etc. But he was also a very experienced cameraman, so he was sort of, doing two jobs for us. What's your gut reaction on this, bulletproofing the cars?
Wear body armour. Because I'll tell you, if you're stuck in an armoured vehicle, if you get trapped in it, you'll never get out of the thing. And if someone does open up, you want to get as far away from the car as possible. Because they all fire at cars, because it's the biggest target.
It's the day before we're going skiing. Ewan's just called. He's come off his motorbike on the Shepherd's Bush roundabout on the way home.
I'm with my wife, Ev.
Oh, hi.
Someone stepped out into the traffic without looking, and I had to swerve, and actually bumped into them a little bit, and fell off my bike, and I've trapped my ankle underneath the bike, which is now quite painful. So I'm going to the casualty to have it x-rayed.
He's on his way for a family ski holiday. We got to find out how bad this is,
And that roundabout, we've all been around it thousands and thousands of times, and we're planning to go through Africa, and he crashes at Shepherd's Bush.
I hope he's okay, but he sounds really bummed out right now. Oh my God. Tell us exactly what happened. Walk us through that.
Hobble us through that. A line of traffic, and suddenly a guy comes out of nowhere. So I started shouting, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! And then he turned us, and I hit him. And I ended up underneath the bike facing the other way. So then another guy appeared from somewhere and lifted the bike off my leg. And I got up and put weight on it, and something clicked here. I don't mean to be big-headed, but I think everybody was going, it's fucking Ewan McGregor.
Did they know?
Well, I was wearing an open-face helmet, and I went and sat on the steps, and I just could feel that everyone was going, fucking shit, it's Ewan
it's going to come
McGregor.
out then.
I think I kick-started the bike on the bike. I think I got on it, started it, and then rolled it off the stand, got over the pavement, and then just fucking...
God, that must have been so painful.
I mean, I'm out the game. I can't ride anything or drive anything for 6 weeks.
I'm just really sad that Ewan's not here. It's a real sad disaster.
Well, when he snapped it, I just had this wave of hatred against motorbikes. And now I just feel sad because he didn't come with us.
Spent the whole weekend kind of hobbling around. It's been quite hard work getting up and down the stairs and like getting ready for breakfast, and it's quite interesting doing it, like making a pot of coffee and thinking, okay, how am I going to get that upstairs? I've come up with some quite nice little routines. I have to say it's been up and down, kind of being on my Todd doing this. It's been a little bit tricky. My leg's got this temporary cast on it, and so today in about 10 minutes or so I'm going to go in to get the full cast on. I have to have an MRI scan. If it's broken because my knee and my ankle twisted like this, which caused it to break, I have to have an operation and stuff. The doctor wanted an MRI scan to make sure that it wasn't an ankle twist injury that had caused the break. They took pictures of the whole leg and then close-ups of the actual break. Bloody noisy.
We're all on tenterhooks here at the moment. When Ewan comes back today, we'll find out the results of his MRI scan. If he does need an operation, that will certainly delay the trip, and because of his other commitments, it might even mean we have to cancel it.
One of the things that bothers me about the trip at the moment is we don't have a B plan.
I don't have to have surgery on it. So that was really good. At least they can just leave it to heal now. Look at that! Basically, that's me sorted, isn't it?
Oh, you all right?
Yeah. You look good for the sun and the ski trip.
Yeah, no, it was hot there. You know, we had good sun.
It's really buggered up my life for 6 weeks, this. I'm now completely over the novelty of going around on crutches, and it's just boring. It's just tedious.
Well, we've managed to escape the office for one day. The mayhem of preparation.
We're doing this off-road trading day. These are the actual vehicles that we're going to be taking on the trip.
As long as you've got your right lock on when you tilt, then it'll drive down. What you never want to do is tilt with left lock on.
Like, I hope we don't go through this sort of stuff.
Well done, Dave.
Don't touch that clutch.
There's still some uncertainty over how long Ev is joining us on this trip. Surprised us, but Charlie got really amped out about it.
I think it would be unfair and unprofessional for us to leave it with this sort of open end to whatever's going to do.
I think at some point you've got to have a chat with Ewan, I think.
Calais down to Rims, spend the first night just on the other side of Rims or somewhere maybe.
How do you feel about my mother-in-law and my father-in-law meeting up with us that night?
In Rims?
Yeah.
Oh, so we just do your whole family now, do we? Can we get Ev's brother down here somewhere in Italy or something like that? I mean, would that be okay?
Well, he's actually riding with us from, I didn't mention it, but just through Tunisia, Libya and Egypt.
Just before we pick up Ev, and then...
Yeah.
Okay.
Ev's coming to ride with us for about 10 days. She's going to ride down the length of Malawi, through Mozambique into Zambia and down to Victoria Falls. She's slightly disappointed, I think it's true to say, that she's not coming for as long as she thought she was. But I can't wait to be riding along with her. I can't wait. So I came in this morning, and when I got here, I discovered that we have 2 BMW 1200s. And I'm going to start it for the first time. I reckon I could ride it, you know. I don't need to use the back brake. I just ride it, you know. I'm chuffed. It's nice to see it. 'Tis the time for tears. It feels a bit like Christmas. Happier than the proverbial pig in shit. It's great fun, this, I have to say. I've been looking forward to doing all this for a long time.
I'm taking the fuel tanks off so we can get to the shop.
So then we've got all new, lovely suspension on the bike. Just give you a nicer ride. How do you get it off?
With a saw.
What stops it going into my leg, the saw?
It's an oscillating saw. Right, lift up. Oh, bless.
Oh, my skinny little leg. Ugh. I am quite worried about it, I have to say, because even if it's, you know, fixed and fine, you know, the actual walking around on it and stuff could be, I mean, I don't know how quickly you get confident with walking, and hopefully it's fine. It doesn't look so good that way. This way it looks better.
Move it up and down for me. This should heal.
Yeah.
But if we push it too hard
then
and there's too much movement, it may not heal.
So, boot on, I can put weight on it, but with the crutches. I can take it off to have a bath. I can take it off to just go to sleep. Yeah. Great. That's great. You didn't say anything about not riding a bike. Yeah, I didn't mention bikes at all, so I just assumed that meant that that was okay. That was my first bike ride since the accident. My bike. Charlie's bike, Ev's bike. Team Long Way Down.
How come you're not wearing your cast?
I just took it off just to stretch my legs a bit. I can use it, it's fine.
I'd be doing the same. I'd be
I
getting on the bike as soon as possible.
I can't sit in a people carrier on the Westway anymore.
Can you give us a call when you get home?
Yeah.
Yeah, call us
Give us 3 rings, we won't pick up. Just to know you're safe. Don't go by Shepherd's Bush roundabout.
I am. I'm going to conquer it face on. I'm facing my fears.
Send me someone to look out for me. Send me someone.
It was nice to see him ride though, wasn't it? He was loving it. Couldn't wait to get on his bike, could he?
I want to be excited at the moment, but for some reason there's so many things yet to be sorted.
Helmets. What's going on with the helmets?
We haven't even seen the designs yet. Equally, we don't have any jackets. The jackets are being produced, especially for Ewan and Charlie, in Italy.
Look at all this stuff. What is this? A pillow?
Pillow, yeah. They're fucking good pillows. I missed the pillow last time. And then
hardcore. Let's take less stuff.
These are little seats.
Seats, pillows. Where's your telly?
The V1, the A1, backups, laptop, tape stock, and more tape stock, and a tripod.
So we'll have a helmet camera, and it'll feed straight into our unit in our jackets.
We've finally been granted our visas and film permit through Sudan. Okay, bye. Now we're just gonna wait for Libya.
We've hired a new doctor to come on board who just seems to have the greatest personality and style. He's a big old monster of a guy.
The biggest concern that I've got so far is Sudan, and specifically the lack of medical facilities within the whole of the largest country in Africa. Coughs, colds, diarrheas, and then dressings. So if they get sore bums off the bikes, then give them some padding. So that'll be in here. And then the trauma side, if anybody gets severely injured, will be a major pack there with the drugs. I suppose the worst case scenario for me would be a severe injury involving maybe the spine, which causes the movement problem across country with no flying doctor service to come in and pick them up via aircraft.
It's 4 days before we leave. We haven't got the Libyan visas. We've been told that even if we did get them, the Americans won't get in.
2 of our team have gone to the Libyan embassy in London.
All right, look at that. Where are you going, Africa or something like that? Looks brilliant.
If he does that through Sudan, I'm going to smack him in the head.
Hey dude, you alright? Wow, that's impressive.
There was a meeting in Libya yesterday and they still haven't issued them. So I'm not too sure what's going on. At the moment we can't get into Libya.
We first applied for these visas about 3 months ago. I mean, we've done everything we can.
A, they come. B, we fly them down to Tunis. C, we've now thrown in the towel for Libya, and we figure out a way to get to Egypt by boat. I'm telling you, I know there's nobody that's out there advertising themselves as if you're trying to take 2 SUVs and 3 motorcycles to Egypt, we've got the boat for you.com. It'd be amazing to go Switzerland, Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia, Albania, Greece.
It's a complete change of plan. But the truth is that this is more adventurous than this. But this is not more adventurous than this.
Pack most of the stuff, just got to get the toolbox and toolkit in there now.
Just don't want to take anything. It's weight on the bike, but also it's kind of weight on your mind, and to just stop and put your tent up, and that would be it. Would be nice. 1, 2 t-shirts, a pair of shorts, and a pair of trout.
We're going to take 2 inflated tyres on the support vehicle, and then these spares here, and that's it really.
My warm jacket, my waterproof stuff, and my thermarest. Because the tent's going on the back, That's a small bag.
I think that's what we'd all like to do now, is get going. You pack and you plan and you book, and eventually you just actually want to go.
This is me for the next 3 months. I'm ready to go now. Whew, I'm quite nervous. I'm quite excited and nervous.
I did have a sleepless night the other night. I woke up panicking about what shoes I should take. Should I take tennis shoes or walking shoes? Nothing to do with what am I going to do without my children? What am I going to do without my wife?
No luck. Still waiting for Boo from Tripoli. Come back tomorrow. Basically, we're going through all this faff just to get the Brits and Claudia the Swiss in.
We haven't got them yet. You're going in tomorrow, and then the American visas, if we get them, will come while we're actually on the run.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. Oh, hello, little helmet.
That looks nice, doesn't it?
That looks good, man. It's a good design.
It's a
It's
good
really
design.
nice.
Good design, isn't it?
That looks great.
We need to try and crack it if we can. So
No,
good
hopefully
luck.
today it should be sorted, hopefully.
Okay.
I mean, that's what they said yesterday. So.
That's the plan. We got to stick with it. You know. I mean, when I
So
spoke to you on
the idea today is that you try and get the stamps in the 5 British passports, and then you're going to pursue the application for the American passport.
there's confusion around here for me.
No, it's just the law at the moment in Libya. I mean, Americans since last March, they haven't been allowed into Libya.
In my opinion, if you walk into a room feeling as though it's already not going to happen, guess what? It's definitely not going to happen.
But if the mood is of the right moment, they might go, oh yes, because this is fine, these are the other ones that are actually part of it. Bang, bang, bang.
Right.
Unlikely, but let's give it a shot, eh, Joe?
But hey, you never know. We'll see. He's a charmer, Yuri. I'm sure we'll be fine.
Being told the day before departure is like, whatever. What can you do? When you have people who are trying to help you do things, you take what you get, I guess. I mean, the good news is most of us can make it through. The bad news is I'm just not part of the most. You know what I mean?
Tense this morning, isn't it?
We got here a bit ago and they said to come back in 20 minutes, so we're just waiting now.
Ollie, unfortunately, has got pneumonia.
Who?
Ollie. She
Charlie's
seems,
wife?
yeah, she's going in hospital to have a biopsy on her lung.
You're kidding me.
Is Ollie alright? Oh, she's okay. She's got. They take a biopsy to see how they can be treated with which type of steroids to get rid of it. 1 in 30 times they do it, it can collapse a lung. And so her lungs collapsed. Talking about going incognito, I thought it was going to, just be a little bit of stickering. So I didn't quite realise it was going to be like that. Jesus. It's like really standing out, I think. It's nothing to do with me. But
It is now. You've said that I don't want to go around the world with you if you don't,
I don't
like your vehicles.
I think it looks amazing, but I think it looks like...
Nothing to do with you.
No, the cars aren't.
Look at Charlie. He's just all nervous and angsty and...
Fuck, I can't believe that Ollie's... God, fuck. Shat myself. They say, your wife's got a collapsed lung. Oh, what? Fuck.
Oh my God, there they are.
Very tight, actually. Look. This is nowhere on earth. I'd even get close.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. I hope I didn't offend you.
We have them. We have 5 passports with visas in. We've just got to try and sort out the Americans.
Who wants to go to Libya?
Unfortunately, the American visas are still a problem. We haven't got them, so we're going to have to sort those out on the road.
My first reaction is to cancel it for 3 or 4 days, the trip. But I think it would distress her tremendously if...
She'd try and recover quickly so you could go, and then that could make her worse, couldn't it?
We've got to be sensitive that if you need to be back here to be with her, then we'd make sure you come back, and if we have to delay the trip because of it, we would do.
Poor Ollie.
Poor love.
Well, Long Way Down officially starts at John O'Groats, which is the northern tip of Scotland. So we're sending the bikes up in a truck, the cars are going to be driven, and you and Charlie and I will fly up. It also gives us a chance to test all the equipment in the trucks before we actually come back to London.
Are you nervous?
No, I'm only nervous about missing cable or
But riding to Cape Town doesn't bother you?
No, that's fine.
We're on the Gatwick Express. We're going to Gatwick Airport to meet up with Russ, to fly up to Inverness, to start the long way down tomorrow morning.
Bye. So I've just had a call from Russ telling me that due to an unfortunate incident at the airport, Charlie is currently being interviewed by the police.
The police are outside talking to Charlie because unfortunately he used the bomb word when we're at an airport because the person that was dealing with us at this lounge was being really officious and rude and aggressive. She's called the police. They're threatening to pull him off the plane. We're waiting to start the expedition and it's suddenly all going wrong. We thought the problem would be at Libya, not at Gatwick Airport.
I felt terrible for Charlie. It was terrible to see him so upset, and I thought, God, we've got to get up there to start the trip tomorrow, and I felt terrible for Charlie.
No, it's fine. There was 4 policemen. They took me outside, asked me a whole lot of questions, quite rightly, this went on. Quite rightly, I should never have said that word. And then very kindly, Russ saw the situation was getting kind of ugly, and he said, "Listen, Charlie, I'll stay with you."
I'm just find it difficult to believe we're leaving without Charlie. It's crazy. It could just only happen to us, It's a perfect disaster. Silly. My brother and my dad are waiting at Inverness Airport. My brother, he just would have given anything to come with us in the whole thing. Charlie's got on a later flight. He's going to fly up about 2:30, I think, this afternoon, and they're not going to press any charges, thank God.
So how'd it go with the doctor?
He said to ring you straight away and tell you not to worry at all.
She's very adamant that I carry on because I think she would put her under more stress, she said, if we cancelled the trip for 2 or 3 days.
It's such a relief to see Charlie. Now the trip can really begin.
It's the morning of the first day. What a last fucking few days, my God. Quite happy to get out of this country, really.
Ain't nothing stopping us going now but the leaving of it all.
I feel a bit sick today, actually. And I woke up with this, black eye. Don't know where it came from. I've got a clue. So, anyway,
It can only get
a lot
better.
of stress.
It's quite good having these 4 days, I think, running up to London, isn't it? We can debug things, get rid of clutter. Let's get to John O'Groats.
John O'Groats to Cape Town. Hey guys! Don't want to fall off right now. That would be not good.
My darling, it's me. Say hello to my wife. Hello! That's all the crowd at John O'Groats. It gave me an opportunity to ride with my brother and my father, and that doesn't happen very often. My brother organised the kind of route down through Scotland, and it was lovely to share a little bit of it, at least, with him. Good to get going, right?
Yeah, it'd be nice to get going, really. I think I just need to put an hour under my belt just to
calm down. We have to go to Cape Town. Here we go.
I feel a little emotional, I must say, about the whole thing, well, hopefully everything will be all right.
Wonder what it'll feel like to be riding into Cape Town on the last day. Oh, my heart.
Somehow it always ends up being trickier than you think. But now we've got 800 plus miles to London to test everything out before we leave the UK for Africa.
We're just on our way down towards, where am I going?
It's a really nice road, A9 and then down through Glencoe.
In memory of the officers and men of the commandos who died in the Second World War, this country was their training ground. It was a good statue. Awesome.
This is where Ewan grew up. Kind of cool, really.
I'm whipping along here with my dad in front of me, and I know my dad's all worried about being slow, and he said, oh, I'm holding everyone up, which he's not. The truth of the matter is, it's just nice to be bimbling along behind my dad. I'm looking forward to seeing my mum. We were having breakfast this morning, and I suppose at that point I was quite aware of the scale of the journey, and I said, I feel like I need my mummy.
How exciting, yeah. Oh, no,
gosh,
it's just
been,
exciting, it's lovely.
Quite a long day, so I'm sorry we're late.
Hi, Nana. How are you?
Oh.
You've had a wee glass of ready, will you? Have that
Champagne, yes.
Yes, exactly. Put the burgers on there. I didn't have a huge sense of that we were going from John O'Groats to Cape Town. Once we got going, I just felt like I was out for a ride with my mates. Does that make me a bad person?
Fantastic day.
It was.
It was really good, really great.
I never went above 70 miles an hour. The whole day.
Well, I would get your speedometer checked.
It's just a wonderful thing that Charlie and Ewan do, I think. I mean, it's amazing.
Yes, please explain.
The motorbike thing surprised me initially. The fact that he had one and that he was so passionate about them, that surprised me.
Could you look at my ticket, please?
I would prefer he wasn't doing it at all. It's a worry, I mean, but there's nothing you can do about it.
'Cause when I dream, my mind it puts a face to each one of my fears.
See you later.
You take care too, Charlie.
Thanks for all your help.
Oh, not at all.
Tell it, really
Look after
appreciate
yourself.
it. We will. We'll go from there, we're going now down to Ewan's charity Chaz. So we're going to have a look around there and see what's going on there.
Beneath the wheel, I cannot slow its rotation down.
We raised money for UNICEF, for Chaz and for Riders for Health on this trip. And so we promised we would drop in on the kids at Robin House, which is the new hospice here in Scotland.
Hello! Hello!
I haven't seen Robin House since it's been open. He turns out not such a good Jedi in the end, isn't he? What they do is they're here to give parents and the children a break, you know, and a really nice weekend or however long it be. Yes, it's very good fun, yeah. I like doing all the fighting. You know, the sword fighting is great fun. But the saddest side of things is that parents can also bring their child here to die, which is inconceivable to me, you know. And I've met parents who've been in that, you know, who've just lost their kids here and stuff.
This is our rainbow room, which is just like any other children's bedroom, a normal bed here, and this is where the child is laid out to rest after he or she has died.
They give an incredible amount of counselling, and they're very, very good at that, so they help the parents go through that process, which is just too much for these.
Wake up in the middle of the
They
night.
know that they're not going to
Most of our teenagers do, yeah.
make it into adults,
Yeah.
and that must be incredibly hard.
And that's why the whole
with it.
planning of the funeral is very important to them, because, you know, they can own that and they say that they know exactly what's going to happen.
Great, okay.
So, that's...
I was lucky I had 30 years of memories of my sister. And you know, a lot of these kids won't have 30 days of memories. So I find it quite heartbreaking.
It's a place that's full of colour and life, in fact, and that's what it's for, is for these kids to have a really good time. And so you come away feeling really good, and that's so many days later when you reflect on it, it sometimes hits you.
To live knowing that you're going to lose your child is something that most of us couldn't possibly imagine. It certainly, in my mind, puts a certain perspective on things, and oh God, what an amazing place. We're riding over to the Holy Isle.
Straight ahead there, I don't know how, let me clean this, is the island. And there it is! We're here!
I come back from these trips with like 350 pictures of my bike with slightly different backgrounds.
So I say every day. So I say every hour as time is passing by.
It's like therapy sitting on this bike. It really is fantastic. State of deep relaxation.
Every second I got you by my side.
We're actually, so there's Scotland, the stone of Scotland's there.
Oh, we are in no man's land.
And the England stone is here, so we're actually, so you, hold on.
You're right, mate. That's what it's all about, you see? The union.
The union. See ya.
See you, mate.
There we are, back on the A1. Next stop, Silverstone Circuit. Say that after a few glasses of Chardonnay.
We're camping on Silverstone racetrack. It's such a laugh.
I think it's just brilliant.
Who's putting a brew on?
They must think we're really stupid.
Has anyone else ever camped in Silverstone?
No, not on the track. Now we're here, I think it's the best thing we've ever done.
But when I first started, I was just saying to Jimmy, you will never, ever watch a Formula 1 Grand Prix
I said I slept there.
We slept right there.
Right, let's get the tents up while it's still light.
Yeah.
It's a whole new experience.
Is it going to be a competition?
No, there's no competitive. There's no element of competition between Johnny and I. What lovely little tent pegs. Ooh. Aren't they lovely?
You know if it's double entry?
Yes. No, yeah.
We're just working out our creature comforts for Africa here in Silverstone.
A lot of foliage.
These roof tents were quite controversial, and they either work and everybody loves me, or they don't work and everybody laughs at me.
It's no competition. I think I'm ahead. But don't tell him, okay? Can you go over and maybe just knock a peg down or something like that, just to slow him down?
Yeah. He'll find some way to win it, even if I'm first, you know. Okay, but I've got my door rolled back. Look.
But I'm in mine.
So I won.
I'm in mine.
What should we have for dinner tonight? Is the question. Spicy vegetable rigatoni, beans and sausages and tomato sauce, chicken casserole.
I'm going to McDonald's.
Spotted dick and custard we have. That's a favorite for the Americans.
Okay, the tents are up, guys. So can we go to the hotel now? No, really. Don't you think?
It was good. Rained last night and this morning, but I woke up feeling quite happy. And once all the cars are kitted away, we'll do a lap of Silverstone on the bikes.
I was so disappointed when I woke up this morning. I was so excited about having a dry day at Silverstone. They assure me that the track is as sticky dry as it is wet.
Sticky wet as it is dry.
Sticky wet as it is dry.
Here's a flying lap of Silverstone in the rain on a touring bike.
Very, very wet. Holy moly. Very exciting though. It's nice, even though it's slow and in the wet and on big bikes, it's still great fun on a track. What a laugh, fantastic. 2 laps of Silverstone. This is us heading back into London. It's absolutely miserable. Everything's wet, my arse is wet, gloves, 10 degrees, not much of a laugh really. Still, you know, it could be snow.
We're back from Cape Town. It's all over. The long way down is done. Well, the first 4 days are done anyway.
I wonder if they did a little tidy up while we were away. Hey, Sarah. Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh, they did a little tidy up.
Lots of things to fix on the cars, I think. Got to repack them, check out all the comms, check out some of the camera equipment because that's not working.
Good news is we came back, but we do need to simplify this a little bit, you know. We do want to get stuff in and out a bit more easily.
So how are you feeling with your chest and stuff?
Felt fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, what's all this?
Oh, it's just dog tags.
Blood tag.
This is a camelback for water, but it adds just enough height to not be able to see the corner of my GPS. And so I can do without that. I'll have water somewhere else.
It's a waterproof bag for toilet paper. You know what I mean?
I think I've got enough earplugs.
I'm going to go off in a minute, take my stuff home, my bags, you know, and just have one last sort through them both tonight.
Probably one of the most difficult parts of the project is leaving your family at home, and that's the most difficult part for me, is leaving Emily.
This is it though now, you know what I mean? It's like, when we leave here, we're gone.
Ready to go. When I first started feeling a bit sick, I think it's just the anticipation of it all. Because we're leaving now, and this is it.
I just feel really good about the whole thing, really happy about the whole thing and looking forward to all the challenges and all the difficulties. I'm really, really looking forward to it.
And we've been waiting for this for quite a long time. Very exciting to be in Africa. Last one to leave. Looks like I've kind of been left behind. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time now, and although I'm sad to be leaving, I'm really excited about what's ahead.
I suddenly had a little pang of like, oh God, we're leaving the island.
Sienna for lunch?
Oh, here we come.
Dave, doesn't look like you're going to get the visas.
Are you pulling my leg?
Don't take it personally.
No, it looks a bit weird what happened. We all kind of fell out at one point. We're having a bit of a crisis here in the old tent.